What's up, guys? Doug Crabtree here. Welcome to this channel. A lot of people remember and often tell me about my old channels, which I still have access to them and everything, and I will definitely be moving my material that I'm keeping over to this channel, but just thought I would address a lot of issues concerning Cleveland abduction and the entire story. Coincidentally, one of the books is sitting right here. This movie is based almost directly off of this book, which I'll get into that, but I just thought maybe it would be helpful to talk to a mass number of people about it, because people see me studying this a lot, which I have been for about 2 months, and they ask me questions about it, and lately questions have came up about my opinion on this movie. I guess this is a Lifetime movie or something like that. That's what I was told, but I don't see that in the credits. I don't think I do, unless I missed it. Overall, I give this movie a thumbs down, but if I were watching the movie on TV and just thought, wow, what an interesting story, I probably would like it. And that would probably make me want to go and read the books and things like that, or pull up some of the other videos on it. But I really can't appreciate the movie because I've already read Amanda Berry's book and Gina's book, and I've already read, or I'm currently reading, Michelle Knight's book. I will be buying a couple other independent books about the situation, and I also am happy to read Charles Ramsey's book called Dead Giveaway. The story gives me tons of mixed feelings. I've cried while reading, I've laughed, I've sighed, I've everything. I've watched a great deal of Ariel Castro's sentencing videos and things like that. Around the time that it happened, I had no idea that that happened in Cleveland. I remember it sounded familiar when I did hear about it recently, a couple months ago, and started to dig into the case a little bit. So I guess I did remember a little bit of it, but I really was clueless that that happened. I'm kind of out of the loop when it comes to news and things like that, because I don't turn on the news. I don't have national news, at least not right now, so a little bit out of the loop on certain things. But anyways, let me give my opinion of this movie before I go too far off into left field. This is a good movie if you haven't read the books, because the story that this is based off of, for the most part, this is pretty darn accurate. But my problems with it is you are cramming 11 years, and even more so, of a story into, what, an hour and 20 minutes, and it's very fast. It's way too fast for me. This movie, I think, should have focused on maybe 1 year in the house, while the narrator told the story basically told in the book, because it would have gave the audience a much better sense of how long Amanda Berry and Michelle Knight and Gina DeJesus was in this house, and all the terrible things that happened to them really can't be conveyed into a movie that's that short. To really tell the story on film, it would need to be a 20-episode show, really. But, so that's my major complaint with it. It was just way too fast. To me, it felt like I was watching a compilation video of major highlights in the story. So, if I were trying to make this movie based off of the book, I still wouldn't do a highlight reel, which I feel the movie is. I would actually, like I said, tell the story in a much slower way by focusing on one major event in the story, surrounded by narrations or glimpses glimpses, if you will, from other stuff that happened. I think that would have really gave the story a lot more personality in terms of how long they were in this house. So that's my main point I wanted to make about this movie. If you like the study of this case, I recommend watching the movie because it is a pretty accurate thing. But like I said, if I was making it myself, I wouldn't have made it that way at all. And I wouldn't have made it from Michelle Knight's point of view. I would have roughly based it off of everyone's testimony, including Ariel Castro's, and I would have, I guess, told it third-party perspective. So why it's strictly based off of Michelle Knight's book, I don't know, but overall it's a cool movie. I don't think it hits home, though. I think it very poorly does the job, actually. So mixed feelings about the movie just as much as I have about the story itself. Couple things that were sensationalized because they made it into a movie, like Ariel Castro broke her glasses the day she was kidnapped. That's not what happened. She lost her glasses before that. So different stuff like that, I think, little things like that have been added, integrated, and the story's been changed a little bit to make it more of a movie type story. And I think in this case that is unfortunate because you're taken away from the details of what happened. I think it should have been told as it were. So that's that. And one thing I noticed, how Ariel Castro paid her for her services by throwing $10 into the washing machine. There was money in the washing machine that he kept there over the years and added to it, but there was never an indication, at least what I've read so far, that it was for her services. Now that I said that, I'll probably read more into Michelle's book and learn just the opposite. But as of right now, that's my opinion of the movie. I give it a thumbs down overall, but I do recommend it if you like true stories, if you like wild and crazy things, if you're like me and you're fascinated with just how strange fact is over fiction, then there you go. I'm not a non-fiction I'm not a fiction reader. Everything I read is non-fiction, and this was one of them. The case that I studied before this was the case of Elizabeth Smart, and that was wildly interesting, and I look forward to reading the book her parents wrote shortly after I finished studying this. So just wanted to present my case on this movie and some feelings about the story, and I guess explain that this channel will be just as random as the last, but I needed to start a new channel because I wanted to I guess start over, and then I'd have all the freedom and time to piece by piece get material from the old channels, bring what I'm keeping here, save them, date them properly, all that. Everything will eventually wind up right here on this channel, and the old channels will eventually expire. So if you want to get some juicy nuggets that may never be there again, you can go to the old channels and check that out. So we'll talk soon.